What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Well, a stunning report came out from the Department of Justice, which confirms that the FBI had at least 26 confidential informants on the ground in Washington, D.C. during the January 6, 2021 storming of the Capitol, most of whom engaged in illegal activity during the chaos, the Justice Department's watchdog confirmed in a bombshell report. Leadership at the Bureau had long been adamant that it did not have sources who orchestrated the riot. Questions about whether the FBI had informants involved in the riots were met with conspiracy theorist labels by many mainstream media outlets.
Fox News alert, the Justice Department just released the bombshell report that we've been waiting for. What actually happened on January 6th? The FBI had 26 confidential human sources there that day. 26. A confidential human source is a guy the FBI pays to spy for them. Of the 26 confidential human sources who were in D.C. on Jan 6th, 4 entered the Capitol during the riot. An additional 13 entered the restricted area around the Capitol. So more than a dozen FBI spies participated in the so-called insurrection. A bunch of them broke into the Capitol. Their own inspector general says this is what happened. But that's not what they told you when they testified under oath.
Those who were there in an undercover capacity on January 6th, how many were there?
Again, I'm not sure that I can give you that number as I sit here. I'm not sure there were undercover agents on scene.
I thought I heard you say you didn't know whether there were FBI agents or informants or human sources in the Capitol or in the vicinity on January 6th. Did I misunderstand you? I thought that's what you said.
Well, I referred very specifically to undercover agents.
Yeah. And so are you acknowledging then there were undercover agents?
As I sit here right now, I do not believe there were undercover agents on scene.
The inspector was hiding something, so Congress asked the question a different way. Listen.
Did you have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters inside the Capitol on January the 6th prior to the doors being open?
Again, I had to be very careful.
It should be a no. Can you not tell the American people no? We did not have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters positioned inside the Capitol.
Gentleman's time has expired.
You should not read anything into my decision not to share information.
Director Wray,
confidential human
gentleman's time.
Ray's right. The FBI didn't have undercover agents at January 6th. They had confidential human sources. So what's the difference? Well, a confidential human source doesn't get health insurance or a pension. They're just freelancing for the feds. Rats in MAGA hats. They're basically paid informants that the FBI runs out of headquarters. A lot of these FBI rats get picked up on some other charge. They get sat down and the FBI says, you're going to work for me now. And if you don't, you're looking at 20 years to life. So these guys say, yes, sir. And they cozy up to people like the Proud Boys and anyone the feds wants to watch and control from the inside. And these confidential human sources are under pressure to deliver. What does deliver mean? It means intelligence and big busts that get the FBI good headlines. According to the Inspector General report, the spies were feeding the FBI intel that said January 6th was going to get a little hairy. But FBI headquarters did nothing about it and then lied to Congress and said they did. So why did headquarters let January 6th get so out of hand? And what were all these FBI spies doing that day and the days before? Were they riling everyone up like they did in the Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping plot? In that case, the FBI informants instigated the plot. They even used an FBI credit card to buy the ammo, supplies, and hotel rooms. Did the FBI pay for Jan 6 hotel rooms? We don't know. Remember, the media and the Democrats said this whole thing was a conspiracy.
Where do you think this idea comes from, that this was somehow done by the feds?
I heard that one of the debaters said it was an inside job. It's an inside job on the part of Donald Trump. and his henchmen.
Republicans have blamed the FBI and said it was an inside job.
It certainly was not an inside job by FBI agents or Antifa. They go around blaming it on Antifa and FBI agents.
Well, how did the media know it wasn't an inside job when the FBI had 26 of their people on the inside? January 6th certainly benefited the media, the FBI and the Democrats. 1,500 arrests, humiliated Trump, got him impeached, criminalized the MAGA movement. Trump got indicted over January 6th, remember? They tried to throw him in prison over this. The January 6th committee, it's all Democrats did for 2 years. Why didn't the committee find any of these snitches? They did a one-sided investigation and teed up Garland to charge Trump so they could run against a convicted felon. So the media is going to apologize, right? No. The media today is cherry-picking the report to say there were no undercover agents there on January 6th. The whole thing's a conspiracy. These aren't articles. They're FBI press releases. And they wonder why their ratings are trash and no one trusts them. It's because of this. They don't want the truth. They want to hide it if it hurts the left. And they can't admit they were wrong because it's too embarrassing. And they were a part of the cover-up. But the FBI is worse than the media. The FBI knew what was in this report. They covered it up before the election. And then the director says he's resigning the day before it comes out. Give me a break.
I didn't want to play too much of this because you're supposed to provide some commentary. But for many, many years, well, since the Grand Insurrection, the FBI and the media, the mainstream media, have ridiculed somewhat, at the time, but over time become far more credible reports from those who participated in the January 6th insurrection that they saw individuals that they felt were informants, people that they had not seen before, people that they thought were instigators that were planted there to collect intel, information, and also to make the situation and to make the event far more violent, far more chaotic than it probably would have originally got. And that's not to take away from some of the people who were there that I still think were idiots, but that definitely tells you, when you look at this, when you look at the other situation that they mentioned, that there's evidence that the FBI had infiltrated the plot to go against Gretchen Whitmer. The FBI has pretty much become a vessel with political partisan leanings for the Democrats. Now, this brings a lot more credibility to Trump and many of his supporters' beliefs that the FBI and the Department of Justice has been weaponized to go after Donald Trump and to create a situation where the convictions and the court appearances and the charges all happen within the time period of this 2024 election to influence the election and hopefully for Trump to be defeated. It also makes you wonder about a whole bunch of other stuff that happened this year. Let's just say in July, right? It makes you wonder now, even stronger, if there was a conspiracy, a deep-seated conspiracy to prevent Trump from being elected president or re-elected president. This is more and more confirmation on my part, and I think many people who listen to this video, of why we don't support the Democratic Party. And people are going to hear what they want to hear. They hear when you say you don't support Democrats that you're a Republican, that you're a sellout, et cetera, because they're narrow-minded and ignorant. At the end of the day, I don't subscribe to this party. This is not the same Democratic Party. I've said it before. This is not the same Democratic Party of Hubert Humphrey. This is not the same Democratic Party of Robert F. Kennedy. This is not the same Democratic Party that Dr. King stuck his neck out for and thought that this would be the lesser of two evils to side with, for his people to side with. This isn't the same party. Those people are not in power in power within the Democratic Party. They don't give a damn about us, Black people. They don't give a damn about minorities. They don't give a damn about poor people. They don't give a damn about the common folk. They, just like Republicans, in my opinion, are all for the rich. They're all for the top 1% or top 5% in this country. That's all they care about. All they care about is Wall Street and, you know, the top brass in our country. They care about, you know what I'm saying, the rich. They care about the war profiteers. That's all they care about. That's who they serve. That's why the Democratic Party has become, like the Bush neocons, they've become the war party. You know, and at the end of the day, this is just chickens coming home to roost. I've said this before. The only reason why the Democrats are so fixated on having our borders opened up and having millions of people come through is because of power. It's because of power. Many of the most populous urban areas in the past, California, New York, Illinois, vis-a-vis Chicago, many of these areas are losing, they're hemorrhaging people, they're hemorrhaging population. The population of California peaked in 2020 at about 40 million. Since then, California, I think, has lost something around 1 million residents, right? I think it's down at 39 million. By sometime in the 2040s, maybe as early as 2045, Texas is going to overtake California as the most populous state in this union, right? Population relates to representation. If you have more people living within your state boundaries, there's more representation. By that I mean more representation as far as Congress, more representation even with electoral votes, more representation as far as how much money states get, and you know, cities and locales, right? It's important for the Democrats and Democratic sympathizers and supporters to manipulate situations so that the population ranks are higher in certain states. That's why Los Angeles just voted, I think the LA Council, I think it was, right? I think the Los Angeles Council voted last month to make that city a sanctuary city. So no matter what Trump's policies are, they're going to swell the ranks in Los Angeles with immigrants. I don't have a problem with immigrants, but I don't like the fact that I'm being called, and other people like myself are having our blackness questioned because I'm seeing what they're doing. People who are blindly following a party based upon some past reputation and affiliation that they don't have anymore. It's galling to me. It's galling to me. But that's the only reason why they care about that. They want to maintain power. And at the end of the day, they don't have people like myself and probably you listening, they don't have our best interests at heart. You know, the people who they want to put into this country, right? They're going to live amongst us, not amongst these people who are putting them in there. They're going to be miles, hundreds of miles away. Counties like 3, 4, 5, depending upon what state, 10 counties away, 15, 20 counties away. You know, but to get back more into this situation, this is more evidence that they've been lying about a lot of different things, you know. And then another thing I want to say before I end this video, if the FBI can lie about this, right? If they can lie about, for years, their involvement or culpability in the January 6th riots, they can apparently lie about their involvement in maybe the Gretchen Whitmer attempted kidnapping plot, right? If they can lie about their involvement in a lot of different things, they could be lying about the Diddy evidence. They could be lying about a lot of things. But, you know, people don't want to have that conversation. They don't want to have these conversations. And I think it should be noted the tie-in between the media, in particular CNN, MSNBC, and the FBI. You know, there should be a lot of talk about how, for instance, when the Diddy raid happened, how these cameras just happened to be there, how these television cameras just happened to know that the Department of Justice was going to issue this raid, that we're going to submit this raid on his property simultaneously. And what was it? Was it California and I think Florida? How did they know? Or was it New York? I forgot. But anyway, how did they know that this is going to happen? I'm not talking about, oh, here comes a report, and then they arrived. They knew this was going to happen. Just like they got that tape. They just happened to be able to play that tape of what he did. Now, it was heinous, obviously. It was disgusting what he did, but people need to look a little bit closer with some of these things, you know what I mean? But anyway, that's all I got to say about it. Tell me what you guys think.